Hello everyone, my name is Pinkulia and welcome back to Escape from the Princess. I'm having very heartfelt conversation with Zara on the roof about happiness and goals and stuff. Zara falls silent, lost in thought again. Oh, I'd like to know what she's thinking. And will she ever tell me the truth about herself? After all, tomorrow we part ways forever, and there's no better time for it than now. Annoyed, I look up to the sky and notice a shooting star. Ooh, pretty. Oh look, a shooting star. Quick, make a wish. What? A wish? Why? Zara stares blankly at me. The star, of course, is in too much of a hurry to wait for the wish, and falls beyond the horizon. Oh, it's too late. If you see a shooting star and make a wish, then your wish will definitely come true. Really? I didn't know that. And do you always make wishes upon shooting stars? I do, always. Especially because I have so many wishes. Zara smiles, then she holds her hand out to the sky and makes a gesture, whispering in a few incomprehensible words. Oh wow! And at that moment, a strange glow fills the air, and the stars begin falling from the sky, one after another. Wow, that's really pretty. That's nice. It's raining stars. Oh! My breath catches in joy as I watch the spectacular sight. Now you can make as many wishes as you'd like. Are they real stars? Not really. My power isn't strong enough to move real stars. I don't think there's a mage in the entire world who could do that. It's just a magic trick. Zara smiles sadly and sighs, but I hasten to assure her that the stars do look like the real deal, and that I could definitely use them for my wishes. As I rattle off a litany of wishes in my head, I know Zara sitting there silently watching the stars fall. Why don't you make a wish yourself? Come on, it's really fun. I'd better not. I'm not even sure what I'd wish for. Then don't think so hard about it. Just wish for something simple, even if it seems like a trifle. Just try it. The witch thinks for a moment, then tilts her head to the side as if listening to something. I focus my ears as well. But the only thing I hear is the music coming from the local pub and the dogs barking in the distance. But before I can ask Zara what she's doing, she looks up at the starry rain and whispers, I wish to learn how to dance. Dance? But don't you already know how to dance? Everyone knows how to dance. Well, I do know some dances, but not the ones I'd like. You see, the dances at the palace are absolutely different from the ones you know. They're slow, boring displays that require you to perform memorized movements while attempting not to make any mistakes. I never liked the parties at the palace because you were always expected to dance. But one night when I was a child, I couldn't sleep and went into the garden to get some fresh air. And there I heard wonderful music, not the kind they usually played at balls. It was a simple, cheerful melody which immediately filled my heart with joy and made me want to dance. Then I ventured further into the garden and found the gardener playing a rural instrument and a few of my maids and cooks dancing with each other. It seemed like they were celebrating one of my maids' birthdays. And they were all having such fun. I even memorized the tune and sometimes hum it quietly to myself so no one else can hear it. It was similar to the music I now hear playing down the street. When I first heard it, it made me remember that time as a child. You have no idea how lucky you are. Back in our village, I was the best dancer at all the festivals. No one could keep up with my creative moves. Do you want me to teach you how to dance? Right here? Yep. Right now? Yes. Are you ready? Instead of answering, Zara quickly holds out her hand as if afraid that I might change my mind. I laugh and pull the witch closer. After all, the dance I want to show her requires 2 partners. I put one arm around the witch's waist and take her hand with my other, holding it out to the side. Standing in the correct stance, Zara looks at me curiously in the eye and waits for what comes next. And now I realize just what I'm getting myself into. Knowing how close Witchy is to me right now, feeling the warmth of her body, I suddenly become confused. But the witch continues to stare at me with intrigue. Well, there's no going back now. Trying to hide my embarrassment, I pull the witch even closer to myself and mumble something about music, rhythm, and movements. My heart is beating so loudly that I swear it's drowning out the music from the street. What if the witch hears it? Never in my life have I ever been so nervous before a dance. Stuttering all over my words, I try to explain what she needs to do. Fortunately, she turns out to be a good student, and I don't need to keep repeating everything over and over to her again, otherwise I'd probably look silly. Trying not to think about how close we are now, I lead her in the dance. We move slowly to the beat of the music, which quietly flows over us as if coming from nowhere. And the stars rain above our heads, the stars the witch made. Made for me. Zara made them because she wanted all of my wishes to come true. Thinking about this, a warm and unfamiliar feeling bubbles up within me. As tenderness and gratitude flood over me, I look into Zara's amber eyes. Catching my gaze, she smiles and I see the falling stars reflected in her eyes. I'm no longer listening to the music, nor do I hear the cicadas singing. The only sound I hear is the beating of my own heart. A light breeze carries over the fragrant scent of rose hips that blossom somewhere out in the fields, adding a layer of unreality to the moment. It's as if I were a beautiful dream woven of music and wishes. I notice how Zara occasionally counts her steps as to not lose the rhythm, which makes Witchy look even cuter. And I've now forgotten everything else but the 2 of us. For me, this isn't just a dance, it's us flying above the ground. And Zara is my only companion on this flight, the town blanketed beneath our feet. I want to smile and cry at the same time. These sudden emotions are almost unbearable. All of it is so unfamiliar, so strange, and a little scary. But I'm ready to plunge into the sweet yet painful state, not caring what happens to me afterwards. It's like magic, but I know this isn't about the enchantress witchery. It's about herself. It's about the way she moves, the way she tilts her head, all of her secrets and her worries. It's about the sweet tea she made for me a few days ago. I'm left breathless. There's only one thing I'm afraid of now, that if I were to somehow expose my feelings, it would ruin the magic of this moment. But it's so hard trying to remain calm, to keep my expression emotionless, especially when my heart is filled with such chaos. I keep glancing at the witchy's delighted face. She shines with such joy at how successfully she's caught onto the dance, like a child. I want this night to last as long as it possibly can, because in the morning we shall part ways. And I'm terrified to think about what'll happen to me when Zara is gone. Finally, the music gradually fades away and the lights in most of the windows go out one by one. It's well past midnight, and I sorrowfully release the witch from my embrace. Without my support, she briefly stumbles on the roof tiles, awkwardly stepping forward to regain her balance. She is now even closer to me than before. Raising her eyes to mine, she freezes as if surprised at this unexpected intimacy. The witch's mouth is slightly open, and I feel the urge to touch her lips with mine. Dumbfounded by this desire, I suddenly realize that what I am feeling isn't a friendly kind of love, despite trying to convince myself of it this entire time. So if that's true, then does that mean I'm a pervert too? To my dismay, the thought doesn't cause me any shame or anxiety. On the contrary, everything has suddenly fallen into place. And it's now clear to me that this is the real reason I never fell for any of the guys who hit on me back in the village. So it wasn't my obsession with magic that kept me from feeling anything for them. But before I can even accept this newly discovered facet of my personality, after a timid sigh, the witch swiftly presses her lips into mine. Yes! And I, realizing that Zara feels the same way, passionately kiss her back. Yes! We did it! We did it! My fingers glide over her hair, tangling in her curls, her breath burning me. The witch's lips are gentle, soft, and slightly sweet, and their taste drives me insane. We hold each other close as if desiring to merge into one. Zara's caresses leave goosebumps over my skin, and my legs almost give way. For a moment, a thought flashes across my mind that this is all wrong, but I immediately chase it away. This is right, and good, and everything as it should be. Perfect for Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, everyone. This is beautiful. Suddenly, the witch pulls away and whispers, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I promised that I wouldn't do anything without asking first, and here I'm... Instead of answering, I pull the witch to me again. If this is our first and last kiss, I need Zara to know how much I've wanted it. Oh gods, I wish so badly that this night and this kiss would never end. When we finally pull away from each other, I look at Zara with regret, not knowing what to say. I want to ask her to stay with me, but I know it would be unfair of me to do so. So swallowing my words, I utter what I decide is the most appropriate thing to say. I'll miss you. Zara smiles sadly. Me too. I'll miss you a lot. Hearing these quiet, sincere words, I'm barely able to hold back my tears. Please stay with me. I shout the words inside my head, praying that Zara could hear my thoughts. But we both know that's impossible. Thank you for teaching me how to dance. It was really fun, and... It was nothing. If you want, we can continue. Without music? Perhaps it's time for us to sleep? We need to be up at dawn. Yes. That's so early. Yes, it's very early. Then, shall we? I nod, trying to endure the disappointment that floods over me. The witch is right. We need to go back to the room and get some sleep. We'll need all of our strength tomorrow. Once in the bedroom, I throw myself onto the bed and bury my face in the pillow. Closing my eyes, I hear Zara lay down and wish me a good night. When I'm too nervous and excited to just lie there quietly. Hoping it'll calm me down, I scoot away and cover my head with my pillow. And so, before I know it, I've fallen asleep. Rosie? Rosetta! Hey, are you awake? Mm-hmm. Rosetta, get up! It's morning already! Skip. Hopefully, those bargains won't leave without us. They did say in their message that they won't wait if we're too late. I begin flying about the room, throwing on my disguise as I go. Skip. Running past her with a bra in hand, I suddenly remember how we spent last night. Reflexively turning to the witch, I stare at her as if seeing her for the very first time. The memories of the falling stars, a heart-to-heart talk, a slow dance amid the sound of music which drifted from afar. The emotion-filled memories flood over me so quickly that I completely forget what I'm doing. Rosie? Are you okay? I can't hold it anymore. I blurt out what I've been carrying in my heart. I don't want you to leave. Unfortunately, I must. But are you sure there's no other way? Perhaps you can bribe the princess, promise her something? I kick myself in the moment for the words leave my mouth. How can one bribe a princess? What am I talking about? She owns all the wealth in our kingdom. I'm sorry, Rosie, but it's impossible. But I know that you want to stay. Last night proved it. I know you wanted that just as much as I did. I'd really like to stay with you. Then why won't you? I just can't. Forgive me. I understand. I'm sorry too. I shouldn't be so selfish. I don't know the whole story, so I can't really give you advice on this, but if you truly believe there's no other way, I'm sure you have a good reason for it. Of course, you should only do what you feel is right. I see the corner of the witch's lips twitch, but she only nods in reply. Understanding that the conversation is over, I continue to get dressed, but without the same enthusiasm. After freshening up, I'm convinced I look decent now. Meanwhile, the sun has risen even higher. It's time to go, so I turn to Zara. Well, if you're ready, we should set off. The sooner we get to the gates, the better. Are you sure it's safe on the rooftops? Well, I can't fully guarantee it, but if the guards have really been reinforced, it's our only way. If we go through the marketplace, we'll definitely get caught. This way, we'll have at least a slight chance of slipping by unnoticed. The important thing is, we get there before dawn. A couple of girls dressed as exotic dancers hopping across the rooftops in broad daylight will be a spectacle enough to attract the moronic guards' attention. Yes, perhaps you're right. Were you thinking otherwise? Well, I can see it in your eyes. Well, it's understandable. I'm never wrong. Zara smiles sadly, pretending that my silly bravado is enough to lift her spirits. I smile at her in return, carrying on the play. Now let's go to the rooftops. Skip. But instead of climbing out, the witch suddenly stops and looks back at me with a strange expression. If you forgot something, grab it fast and let's go. We don't have much time. You know, before we leave, I want to tell you something. Can it wait? This isn't exactly the best time for a chat. Instead of answering, Zara grabs my hand and forces me to stop. Realizing that she wants to tell me something important, I look at her quizzically. I've known a long time that I needed to tell you this. You're the only person I trust after all. What are you talking about? Have you ever heard of soul mages? Soul mages? Of course I have. They're very rare sorcerers who can control dreams to bend people to their will and do other I can't say that word, so you know. Not only that, these mages can also steal the souls of others, or possess their bodies with their own souls. Or, for example, place parts of their souls into objects, creating golems. Oh, that's even creepier than I remember hearing. But soul magic is forbidden in our lands. I believe all mages who have had these abilities are strictly controlled. So just what are you getting at? But the fact is, soul magic isn't as rare as it seems. It's just that soul mages often need to hide their powers because they're easily used to harm others. Wait, you're not saying that you're... Yes, I am a soul mage, and my ability to control souls has been sealed with that curse. And I'm glad for it. But why tell me this now? There's more. There's something else I need to tell you. Before we part ways, I want you to know something about me. Zara, you're scaring me. I am not Zara. Zara was my soul magic mentor. I'm Princess Elise. I knew it! I knew it! I knew that she was the princess. I called that so long ago. I knew it! So Princess Elise has her soul and she's controlling Zara. So this is Zara, I think. Possibly. But because Elise is a soul mage, she's controlling this body. So that means that the person in Princess Elise's body is probably Zara, maybe? I don't know. But they switched bodies so she could escape. That means the person who's marrying the cousin isn't actually the Princess Elise because she's in here. I knew it! What? Is this a joke? Unfortunately, it's true. I had to steal this body to escape from the palace. But before I possessed Zara's body, she cast a curse over me, depriving me of the ability to change bodies again to escape the town unnoticed. The real Zara is in my body, and she's helping the others find me. She can sense my presence since we're both soul mages. However, my abilities are very weak now, and she's as strong as ever. I can't believe this. So this isn't your body? No, it's not. Which would explain why we complimented her and she got all weird about it. Zara's face reflects the shame and regret. Oh gods, but why did your highness do it? Don't call me that. I don't need that title anymore. So that's what happened to the heir of the throne. The gossip I heard at the marketplace talking about how the princess had been acting strangely, talking irrelevantly, and not seeming her normal self at all. But of course she wasn't. She's a different person now. And she's forbidden from wearing the crown because she isn't Elise. She isn't the true heir to the royal throne. That's why the guards have practically lost their lives trying to find and return Zara to the palace. Although they probably don't know the entire truth, this is a grave matter for the royal family. Boo. This explains everything. But what about Elise stealing someone else's body, expelling their soul from it? That sounds awful. And more importantly, why did she do it? She just told you. To escape. She's a lesbian. She doesn't want to marry her cousin. But Elise, what compelled you to do this in the first place? I never wanted to be a princess, with all the responsibilities, obligations, and burdens the title entails. It never felt like I was fit to rule the kingdom wisely. Nor was I interested in magic. All I ever wanted was to be happy and a little independent. Because of my bad magic, my life has always been strictly controlled. In a family of white mages, any deviation would seem odd. Especially since something as dangerous as soul magic. I felt like I lived in a prison and was strictly supervised. But the idea to escape only came to me when my parents began searching for a suitable groom, so that they could pass on the title of king. They ultimately decided on my cousin, and a wedding date was set. At that moment, Elise turns to me and I shudder. But I don't want a groom. Even if it's for the good of the kingdom, I refuse to sacrifice my dream of finding true love. Then the princess lowers her voice barely to a whisper, as if ashamed of her words. And I think I may already have found her. At this point, I feel everything inside me tense up. I've always tried to be good and obedient. But when they announced that I would marry my cousin so that the crown would remain in our family, I rebelled. At first, I tried to reason with my parents, but they were adamant, and then I ran. But I didn't make it. Zara, my mentor, was assigned to watch me along with the guards because she, like no one else, could handle my abilities. And so I needed to outsmart them somehow. To lull Zara into a false sense of security, I pretended that I'd accepted my fate. And then, for the first time in my life, I did something I swore I'd never do. I used my natural magic, which I had suppressed and hidden for so many years. The moment my mentor had let down her guard, I tried swapping both of our souls into each other's bodies. But I was too slow, and Zara cursed me, hoping to interrupt my spell cast. But she failed. The curse only sealed away my soul magic, but the body swap had been successful. We had a small scuffle, and I was able to tie Zara to the bed. In Zara's body, I was able to simply walk past the guards, telling them that the princess had sent me to retrieve something from the library. Am I a horrible person? I renounced my title, betrayed my family, and even stole someone else's body. What you did is a crime? You were too reckless? I can't judge you. Who am I to judge? Everyone wants to be happy. You can't judge someone for that, although I'm not justifying your actions. And stealing bodies, nothing good can come from that. But I understand that you had no other way out of the palace, and it was your only option. Do you really believe that? I was afraid you'd hate me for it. And yet you still decided to tell me? You've done so much for me, and have always been so kind, and now we'll part ways forever. I decided that I had no right to lie to you. You deserve the whole truth about who and what I am. I have made so many mistakes. I know I'm a horrible person. You are not a horrible person. If you were, you wouldn't be worrying so much over your actions. And everyone does things from time to time, even a genius like me. Oh, I'm so glad you don't think me a criminal. I imagined how this conversation would go over and over again, and I was ready for whatever outcome came of it. But the fact that you've accepted me for who I am, it makes me so happy. In a burst of gratitude, the princess hugs me so tightly that I can barely breathe. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Knowing that her body doesn't actually belong to her has me feeling quite embarrassed as she embraces me. And the knowledge that this isn't just the witch, but the princess herself, has me slightly unsettled. But I will fully suppress these feelings of confusion. I don't want to disappoint Elise. Still, I don't like her for her stolen body, but for her personality. When we finish exchanging confessions and gratitude, we hurry to the roof. And that is all the time I have, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!